Greetings everyone and welcome to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I just want to ask you all to just hit that like button, share button, and subscribe if you are not already. So today we're going to be talking about the hit TV show of the prequel to Yellowstone 1883. And before I jump into this and stuff, I have got to say, you know, I've never been somebody into kind of westerns, drama, but this show really did it for me. And I'm really going to tell you why. So, um, we're going to go into being discussing my impressions of the prequel to the hit show, like I said, Yellowstone of 1883, written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. Set approximately 40 years in between what would be 1923, which I will do a review on that as well too once I finish and stuff like that, which I might add is another good prequel to Yellowstone as well. I haven't watched Yellowstone yet. I wanted to watch the prequels before I watched the Yellowstone, so and all that. And in all honesty, I enjoyed this caravan across the plains of Middle America in a time period of a great migration west of the United States due to the promise of free homesteading, better life, which people from all walks of life that came to the U.S. to cross the Great Plains. The show is set during a tail end of the Great Migration west. It was the Great Oregon Trail, very harsh environment that would take 6 months to a year to trek across. Having to really bring forth the reality of that time period, I felt was rather well done. It is basically telling a story of a family in a migrant caravan heading to Oregon on the Oregon Trail, starting in Texas and heading north to west towards Oregon. The truth of the matter was, it was dangerous. You had wearing parties of Native Americans, while others you had would help and benefit financially from these caravans across their lands. I'm talking about Native Americans. The show plays real loose with history, though, I will say that. While others you had would help and to, I'm sorry, to the dangers of becoming infected with syphilis, to pox, being bit by snakes, to being bucked by a horse, losing yourself and breaking your back, to the dangers of crossing a river, to the environmental conditions in covered or uncovered wagons. The show brings about what we, in my honest opinion, has never seen a show truly depict the realities of what would have been on such a trek in that time period. And I'm not saying that it's depicted accurately, but it is brutal in the show. It is absolutely downright brutal. And while it is a story about migrants from Europe, led by the great Sam Elliott, that man doesn't age a bit. That man looks like he's in his 50s, I'm telling you. While two of the main stars is Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, two of the great country western singers of our time. These two, along with Isabel May, that plays Elsa, is just remarkable in terms of how she portrayed the reality of being an innocent, ignorant young woman that fell in love, experienced tragedy on the trek on the Orient Trail, and found love again, and then died. The show was not very slow paced, I think, in my opinion. In all honesty, I was truly hooked to the entire cast and the way they came across. You really felt invested in the characters, which you don't get that in a lot of TV today. And stuff. Even Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, and how in this Western setting of the downright harsh realities of how tough this trek was, to losing people from a variety of things along the way. You, the viewer, become very invested, as I stated, and very quickly too. You really have a sense of you caring about all of these characters. I've seen other reviews, and some have stated in the reviews that it is very slow paced. I'm not entirely sure why or what others are speaking on. It is basically a show on a caravan of European migrants. Perhaps might be talking on the way the show takes its time, but to develop and give the viewer a very sense of what the environment was, or the attempts to tell us, the viewer, what it could have been. Of course, at times it is slowly building up the tension, in my opinion. To every episode, the caravan loses people to a variety of conditions, to killings, just the pure danger of it. I can't say enough how Sheridan Taylor writes this, along with the actors being able to portray what they do on screen is just remarkable casting and stuff. I've just got to say, all around. Something else to mention, in I think it is episode 3 or 4, the caravan have come to the reality that what they have on their wagon is too heavy. Everything they brought with them is from the old country. And it seems like it's a mixture of like a wide variety of like Germans. There seems to be some, let me see, what is it? Oh, shit. I can't remember what it's called. But, yeah. I'm going to move on here because I can't remember what it was. Oh, gypsies and stuff like that too as well. And some interracial stuff and all that stuff. It's very interesting. That, everything they brought from the old country, they're giving up things like pianos, unique cultural items of musical instruments. The reason for it is that it will be too heavy to get across the river or survive it. On top of it, these migrants don't know how to swim on top of it. But the harsh reality of losing people being swept down the rough river just puts the fear of reality while watching the episode is built up. But you're very well taken back. Well, we truly don't understand and think about these things today. Yes, we might go fishing or something, but attempting to drink from the river, for example, could be enough to kill you of cholera. All these lessons are put into perspective on things that we don't even have to think about because much of our water sources are cleaned through water recycling and purification. But in this show, it truly shows the dangers in which you would never think otherwise of something as simple as water. In many ways, this show really reminds me of the importance of there is still really good writing out there, along with really good actors and actresses that have more depth with reasons to their actions and who they are, which is very much lacking in today's movies and TV shows. But I am a sucker for Westerns, I guess. I never used to be, and I didn't even realize that Faith Hill and Tim McGraw were in it. I wasn't even aware of Sam Elliott being in it. There was a black actor, too, that was a part of the main cast. Cannot remember his name, but I know him from somewhere, and oh my god, he's a good actor as well, too. But I wanted to check it out. And I started out with the 1883 because I'm in the middle of watching 1923. I won't get into the depths of a lot of the story or the backgrounds, but it is truly a great story of a sliver of time and history in this country that was some of the roughest that has ever been forgotten. But I feel that wanting to just live on sometimes I just want to kind of feel like I just want to live on a farm sometimes, to even ranching is something that I've always wanted to do. And I say that not because, I just say that because I don't mind hard work and all that stuff. And just this show kind of brought me back to something that I really want to do. One thing I put into the title is that armpit hair. Why? Because many women characters, including Elsa, has armpit hair. I have to say that kind of detail is very important. And I was like, that small detail, I'm not sure if you might feel the same way as I do about it. But yes, yuck, indeed, perhaps. You are into something like that. But, something like that, you really don't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the show overall is really done well. The acting, the writing is just some of the best we have seen in some time. Yes, it is set in a time period that we don't get a lot of. However, it is very well thought provoking slice of Western drama. It is sad that we don't and won't be getting a season 2. But the way they wrapped it up brought a tear to this guy's eyes. So I want to thank you all for listening. Let me know if you watched the show, if you might watch it and stuff like that. I will do a review for 1923. I said that I wasn't going to do any more cultural things and stuff and entertainment and stuff, but I really wanted to talk about this, and I really wanted to talk about the armpit hair because I really enjoyed the fact that, not because of the armpit hair, but the small detail of what that presents that we don't get because everything is so shiny on camera or in the movies or the TV shows, you know? Yeah. It's just like kind of like because a lot of you guys probably know I'm a kind of a Trekkie and stuff like that, you know? And like in every episode of Star Trek, the ship is clean. Nothing's dirty, for example. Same thing. Same kind of thing with small details. So I'm going to wrap it up. We're coming up to 11 and a half minutes. Again, I want to thank you. Let me know what you think down below. Take care, everybody. Peace out.